Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Shalom, shalom. We're here again with our great elder.
We're back.
Elder Ben Yah from the House of Israel of Cincinnati. Shalom, Elder Ben Yah.
Shalom, everybody out there in radio land.
Praise
here in the United States, somewhere all over the islands. Good to be back. Hope everybody's been good listening in to our telecast through the week. All of it is good, and I pray that a lot of you are learning and that you know who the true and living Elohim is.
Hallelujah.
Praise the mighty Yah. Yes.
What you got for us today, Elder Ben Yah?
Well, I started thinking about back when I was a kid, and I'm going to go back there again. I thought I'd give some of the people something to laugh at, because our people need a lot of laughter, man, out of all the hell and stuff that they're going through in this country and all around the world. But anyway, takes me back when I was in elementary. I was in the 5th grade, and I remember 2 teachers that stood out of all of them in the school that I went to, and one was Miss Potts, a little old short, roly-poly. When she walked, she waddled, and she looked like she may have been in her 70s. I don't know why they would have teachers that old still teaching school. But anyway, that one, and the other one was Miss Shue. I'm not exactly sure how you spell her name. I think it's S-H-O-E, or it could be S-H-E-W, one of the two. But both of them were very old. And what made them stand out, I remember in Mr. Potts' class, and I forget what she taught. I think it was like social studies, which I hated. And but the thing with her was she was and they were very prejudiced back then, very prejudiced, and but boy, she wouldn't and she always looked like her eyes looked lazy, as if she hadn't had enough sleep at night. But man, would she give the kids hell at times. She never did do it to me, because she never caught me doing anything. And I made sure that, first of all, but a little old fat roly-poly woman, but I remember being out in the hallway, and we were lining up to go downstairs, to our next class and all, and we had to line up, to wait for the bell to ring. And these 2 girls were in line, and they were playing around, and Miss Potts come up there, man, and with her little short fat arm, and swung it back and boom, and hit that girl right in the stomach. And the girl went down, and like all the other girls said, woo, and it wasn't funny at the time. But now the years have gone by, she wound up being okay. But Miss Potts was something else, man. Like, another thing she would do is, if you did something at all, she wouldn't hesitate to get that little paddle out of a drawer. That's something that they really believed in using, and they should have been using it in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. Maybe these kids wouldn't be the way they are. But man, she get that paddle, and what made it so funny was that, how a teacher would have you bent over his desk, and then they would hit you, to make and I mean, they hit so hard, and then they would hit again, then they wait again, wait a few seconds. But Miss Potts would bend you over the desk and just whop, 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 whop. Yeah, I mean, it was so funny the way they woman was. I mean, with a little short fat self. But anyway, I got a big kick out of thinking about that last week, and I said, yeah, I got to tell this to my homies and the people around. Anyway, I'll take it to because we got a little ways to go, so I'll take it right on to Miss Shue. Miss Shue, I had heard about her when I was in the 3rd grade, and I dreaded going in her class. She was a librarian, and very short, just like Miss Potts. Neither one of them was 5 feet tall. And very short, and like Miss Shue, though, had this platinum white hair, and she wore these thick eyeglasses. When you got how it looks up under a pop bottle. You see how thick it is up under that pop bottle. Yes. That's how thick her glasses look. And so when she had them on, and she always looked like I'm always frowning. I really believe if she'd have took those glasses off, she probably would have ran right into a door. That's how thick those glasses were and everything. But she was the type of teacher, man. I mean, I hated going into the library. And the library, you go in there to read, to get, look at, get books and read it and all that, But Miss Potts, Miss she was a monster, man. I mean, I remember, and she always told us before we got in there would be no talking in my class. And that's all she would say to you. Mm-hmm. And then we go in, but a couple of the girls, I think others learned from that though. And she told them, when they sat down, when they got the books, she said that would be reading, you read it silently, not loud. I don't want to hear no talking. And but there was a couple of girls, I guess they might not have enough sleep that, at night or something and everything. But one of them, one I think wasn't asleep, but the other one went to sleep. And Miss Shoe saw this. And she went and got this encyclopedia that was real thick and heavy. And she picked that thing up, and Miss Shoe eased on over there, went around the long way, and came back around to the table they were sitting at. And she lifted that book up and just let it drop. Wow! And one went back, she almost fell out of the chair. The other one just stood up real quick, Man, when I think about it, it wasn't funny then, but it's funny now, with the looks on their face. And she told them, there would be no sleeping in my class. She was a woman of little word, man, But man, I had to bring them up because, and then there were other teachers, but they were a lot younger than these two. And I started thinking about that. I said, I bet when I got in junior high school, they probably had died off, man, because they were so old. But, man, that was something else. So,
we want to tell us about your ministry of Yah in the Philippines.
Oh yeah. I got in it. I started what I thought was the real thing in 2008, listening to the brothers out on the streets at first, and I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like what I was seeing. And then in 2009, I got some told me to invest in a computer there in the Philippines. And when I got there, I did, and I went on it and went through it and all, and I come up on them again. And this time I forget what group it was. It might have been GMS or one of the real nasty ones, But there was this white lady that came and stood there. I think I had talked about this before, but I'm going into it a little deeper. But and she was with her boyfriend, her husband, tall guy, and she was just inquiring because she listened. They were, people listen to you, and and these folks, when they hear that stuff and everything, they really began to believe, hey, they may have the truth here. And so she was just inquiring, well, is there something in there for me? I mean, for folks like me, she said, because I never believed in slavery or anything like that. I never hated anybody. He said, oh no, he said, it don't matter. That's what the guy that was speaking, I forget his name, but he says, it don't matter. You got two places you're going, and that's, you're either going to be destroyed or you're going into hardcore slavery. And the woman started crying. And she said, but I didn't do it. She said, it don't matter. I thought to myself, that is the most rotten thing. And I was turned off from them after that, But they loved to bring up JC and about the fact that he was, that he was black and all this other stuff, and like I didn't know what to believe that or not because I had read the book and I was reading it before I, ran into them. But I said something's not right here, and so. After I got to the Philippines, like I said, after I got on there, I got to believe that it was the Holy Creator. They brought a prophet, a real live modern day prophet into my life. And his name was Morey Elisha. And I decided to listen to him. I was busy. I was doing things, but something told me, no, listen to this man. So I turned around, listened to him, and he was doing a debate. And I love how smooth he was, and how he just, he just told this Christian up. I think he was a Baptist minister. Man, he tore his behind up with the word, and he did it so cleverly. And I said, wow. And so I started listening to some more stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started doing my research at night and everything, staying up late, and I started listening to him more, doing my research, listening to him, and going to the library. I mean, not the library, but a computer store where I could get photos made,
Mm-hmm.
because I found stuff on the computer that I needed pertaining to slavery,
Right.
pertaining to how the people over in, and I knew I would have to have that because I had a professor that told us once that one of the best things you can do, not only giving them the truth about something and everything, is if you have photos,
Right.
real photos to show what happened.
Yeah.
You can't argue with photos, just like you can't argue with Yah's word.
Mm-hmm.
His word is gold.
Yes, sir.
And so I went and got photos. I got photos of our people hanging on trees and stuff, and all, and how what they did to Emmett Till, and other things they did, and oh man, I didn't like doing that because I didn't like looking at the photos, but I had to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
That's something what a lot of our folks will tell you. Well, I don't show it to me. I don't want to see it. Yeah, but you need to see it. You really need to see it so that you'll understand what we're going through here, what we've been through, and what we're still going through. These past 5 or 6 years and everything, our people have been murdered in the streets by white cops.
Mm-hmm.
You got to, and thank God that that Yah allowed, He did that. He allowed them to see what I was talking, what we're talking about now. That y'all didn't want to see what went on back then, but maybe you want to see how things ain't really changed.
Yeah.
So there you go. So anyway, I got my photos, and I started with my reader, and she had her King James Bible, and the original edition. I made sure I made sure it said that,
Mm-hmm.
not his version.
Right.
It's not the original King James edition. Is not his version. It's the book where he had other scholars do all his work for him. He hired them to men who spoke different languages, and he wanted everything in Hebrew to go in English and Spanish and everything, all other languages around the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can go anywhere, should go anywhere around the world to a library and get a King James book. King James original edition is the closest thing you're going to get to having the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did. And so we went around, and everywhere we went, we got large crowds. I was really surprised, but I was really taken back when we went to Mabonai over in what's called Negros Oriental.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you folks out there one guess why they call it Negros Oriental and Negros Occidental. Negros Occidental was in the north. Negros Occidental was in the north, and Oriental was in the south.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the south part. And we went to a place, the island was called Dumaguete,
Mm-hmm.
but it had a whole lot of other cities. That's how big Dumaguete was. A lot of the islands were. But it took 2.5 hours to get from Dumaguete to Mabonai after we got off the bus and everything and all. And I had already been there one time. We went up there with my friend to stay with her sister and her husband. And it turned out they were really good people. And we stayed with them for about a week. And they just really taken back to what I had told them.
Mm.
And after I told him the second day, Rose, that was her sister's name, she had taken all of the graven images and everything else out of her house and threw them out. And I said, that's a start.
Yeah.
I said, but leave the swine alone. Don't even grow it because it's just going to contaminate your ground and contaminate the chickens you got and everything. You'd be surprised how poison that animal is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what they did. And by them doing that, I told Kondo, who's her husband, I said, what I'm going to do, we're going to go up there and we're going to buy some goats. And goats were going for like anywhere from 10 to 13,000 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
And like I bought him two. I bought a female and a male. He already had three, but they were smaller. And he was just really taken by it and very excited. And I was excited for him. And then we bought some more chickens while we were there. And anyway, we had on the first, when we went back, the people had heard about me.
Mm.
And when they heard that I was coming, Kondo went to another area there in Mabonai, and I told them that I was in town, and like we didn't know just how many people he had talked to, because
right.
we really wasn't expecting that many people. But when on the day on the Sabbath, we had they had right outside. Now they lived up in a place called Iboland.
Mm-hmm.
And Iboland was a mountain. It was a mountain, all mountain area. And I'm telling you, folks, when you go up in there, you see people that look just like us, black folk. Some of them had woolly hair, some had shabby, some had curly hair, and then others had maybe straight hair, but they had been probably hit by the Spaniards when they were there. Mm-hmm. They're folks. But anyway, I didn't, discriminate. I mean, I was trying to save lives
right.
by giving them the truth. So we're sitting there waiting and everything, and we have Kondo had the benches and everything all out there, and all. We thought we had enough, and we saw people started coming up. I was sitting in the living room looking out the window. The ladies was in the kitchen fixing food, and don't know where Kondo was. He was going telling some other people, and so these people was coming, and they just kept coming. And I'm up there thinking, next thing, I mean, we got over 100 people out there. And I'm looking, and I look back, and I told my friend, I said, hey, I thought you said there wasn't going to be that many people coming. And she said, it's not supposed to. She yelled, oh, my God. She said, Rose. She said, where has Kondo been? And Rose said, oh, Kondo went around to some of them other subdivisions. And like, but I said, but that's all right. That's good. That's real good. But even though they, and she looked at it, she said, oh, my God, we don't have enough. Because the ladies that came, they had to huddle up real close, but the guys, a lot of them had to sit on logs and stuff out there. And so we come out and they started clapping, and went on, and we went on into I introduced myself. We went into the truth, and I just was so thrown back out of all the people that were there, man, and everything. And after I got through talking to them and telling them how a lot of them are our people, you are Israel, and man, you should have saw the looks on their faces, and they were looking at each other and smiling and stuff and everything. And these people, it didn't even dawn on me that a lot of them were Roman Catholics, but they were glad to hear something different,
right?
And and something that they could believe in.
Yeah.
And we even gave Bibles to some of them that wanted them, and everybody wanted them, but we didn't have enough because I wasn't expecting that many folks. But we made sure Mr. What's his name? I think his name was Captain, and his wife, who lived like 2 doors down. The houses wasn't close to each other, but we had to make sure we gave them one, her daughter, and all that. And the people, when I got through talking, I said, well, we're going to take a break here now. I said, and then somebody looked like they had a tray or something, thinking that I was getting ready to go around, send it around to put money in it and everything. I said, if it's not going to be that kind of day, folks. I said, I'm not that type of servant. I said, back where I'm from, we take tithes. I said, but we take tithes that's going to help the sanctuary and help the people. Those are the only sanctuaries, the places that I know. I said, we're not like churches, none of them. And they started laughing. And so I said, but what we do, I says, Yah tells us, he says, when you're giving out my truth to the people, he told his prophets, do not take nothing, no money. Don't go around asking for money. That's what got Kaheza in trouble. And so I told him, I said, but instead, this is what I'm going to do. And I had told my friend before we even went to maybe when we was back in Cebu, I said, we're going to go to the bank today and get some money. She said, you don't need no money. We already got our tickets. I said, no. I said, but this money is for something else. And I went and I got me a stack of brand new 20 peso bills, about like that, stack of them. I didn't know how many it's going to be. I thought I was going to have something left. But after I saw all them people, I still had enough to give everybody, go around twice. Right. But I told them, I said, this is what I'm going to do. I said, this is how I feel about you all and how Yah's servants feel about you, the true ones. And it's not found in your churches anywhere. And I passed them around, and when that money got sent around to them and everything, they looked and they started talking to each other and everything, and smiling and so I went back in after I passed it. I said, I'll be right back, folks. So went in just to take a little break, and my friend come back in and she said, that was fantastic, sir, because they called me Sir Ben. And see, I'm letting the cat out the hat because I told you guys last time there was a man by the name of Sir Ben that went to the Philippines and tried to save some lives. And that Sir Ben, it was me, Ben Yah.
Praise Yah.
And, but when I say that, I say it with a heavy heart too, but I want to get back on what I'm saying. And maybe if I don't finish today, I can do it in, the Maury will let me, remind me again. But anyway, after I took my break, I come back out, and do you know everybody came, they jumped up, and they all started clapping. And there was two ladies out there that were school teachers, and they spoke pretty good English. They understood exactly what I was saying, and one of them asked me, she says, Sir Ben, she said, we all talked, and we just want to know if, we don't know if you're going back to the U.S., anytime soon, or if you're going to be here for a while. We would like to know if you would be our high priest. And I got choked up about that, Maury, and of course I didn't start crying, but I just got kind of choked up, almost dead. I told him, I said, it would be a pleasure, it would be an honor. I said, but I can't accept it because I'm just a servant of Yah right now, I says, and I got other places that I have to go to get this truth out. And I says, like Luzon and Nova Ecija, two places that I definitely need to go because we got more people over there. A lot of your folks don't even know in Luzon and Nova Ecija, we had some black Buffalo soldiers back in 1899 that came here. And they didn't like what was going on, the way the white soldiers was treating the people, raping the women and carrying on. So they retreated, and they wanted to go back to the U.S., but the leading general told them to get back in the trenches. If they didn't, they would all be put to death. And one who stood out was a 23-year-old who was a super soldier. That's what I call him if you listen to the story. And his name was David Fagan. He came there. He had just he came there he left Cuba, and then he came home back to St. Petersburg, Florida, where my grandmother and all of them lived. That's where his folks were from. And his mother died, and his father was still living, so I guess he would have been content being there, but after his father died, he went and re-enlisted again. And they sent him to the Philippines in 1899 when the war broke out, after Spain had been paid off by the United States government for $20 million to leave the country so that they wouldn't have to go to fighting. And then a war broke out with a resistant Philippine army against the United States government. And So dirty dogs. You know, those people thought they were going to get their freedom and their independence back, but that didn't happen. So when David Fagan went there, he didn't like what was going on. He said, you know, they're doing the same thing they did doing to our people back over in the U.S. And the other black soldiers heard him, and so David Fagan was the first one that defected, and he had a couple of Filipino friends that he had met while he was there a short period of time, and he told him, "Take me to your general," and and they took him through some rough terrain, and the other black soldiers, they didn't come until later on. There's like six more of them, and they defected later, and they found David Fagan, and they all got together and they showed the resistant armies how to shoot better, how to fight hand-to-hand combat, how to go down in the lagoon and steal weapons and stuff. I got a big kick out of that. And they went down there, and American Army, they thought they was hiding their boats and stuff and everything in these trenches and these lagoons. But David Fagan and them found them. And they got all the weapons, all the ammunition and everything, and they took the boat right on around through the lagoon to another area. And it's one thing that the white soldiers didn't do. They didn't go up into the mountains because they would have died up in there. The mountain area was very rough. And if you didn't know where you were going, you could step into a hole and go down, bam, or snakes and all the other stuff. But those resistant army knew how to go around all that stuff. So so after they did that, then they started fighting them against the army, and they started pushing them back. The general sent word back to the United States saying this David Fagan is causing us a lot of grief here. He says we can't do nothing with him. You know, and he said, and all the other six and everything, he said, we need some help here. So they sent more troops there. And but they never could find him. David Fagan wound up marrying a native Filipino. They say she was beautiful. And they had lots of kids, and so did the other six. They wound up calling those six. And I'm going to say this because they made a movie, folks, back here called The Fantastic Seven. That's what they used to call David Fagan and them. The Fantastic Seven. And because nobody could ever find them, they sent bounty hunters there. Three of them, two of them got killed. The other one said that David Fagan was too fast for him. He couldn't keep up with him. And but he said he was found over in Manila, a lot over in Luzon. But we know that he's got descendants in Luzon and Nova Ecija, and that's why I needed to go, And then my trip would have been successful. But I keep saying if I find out that I've turned at least 3 or 4 people around, then I think I've done my job. Or pray that y'all will look at it that way.
Praise God.
I'm so sad because I keep telling y'all, even when I got on my way back here, and he just, I'm sorry that I failed you, but that was something that happened when I got back in. They had that thing here in town where they had other speakers and stuff. Remember that, Isha, where we went
conference?
A conference, yeah. And the people that came in, the speakers that they had, I don't know if it was a conference, because there was real good speakers there. But there were like 3 speakers that got up there. They always mentioned me. They always say, we got the Philippines. Our elder from the Philippines here, Benya. And they would ask me a question or something and everything, but they did it 3 or 4. And that told me right there, I felt kind of good about that. And that told me, I felt that Yah was telling me you did a good job over there. Don't worry about it. But I just still think I could have done better. But I didn't know that I was in the belly of the beast. Yeah. And I was the only one there. If I'd have had Isha and some of the other brothers there, that might have not happened. What happened to me. And so
praise mighty God.
But yeah.
How about what's going on with the young folks, middle-aged young folks, and if they fear Yah or they believe in Yah?
I said that because you got some to go to the sanctuary and that have been going there. that y'all hardly ever see they come when they get ready, or the ones who've already been there. We've got even elders, and I'm going to tell it like it is. You got elders that have left the sanctuary. I don't know why. You got, and I asked this question some time ago, what happened to all our great singers that we had? All the daughters of Zion and all. And I heard they tell me, well, they went back into Christianity. And I almost fell on my behind. I said, what? How in the hell can you get the truth like you've gotten it? I mean the 100% truth. I can go in any of those chapters in there through and the books of Moses. I can read through Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, all of them. Everything makes perfect sense to me. There ain't nothing a pastor or a preacher or priest can come in and tell me about the New Testament, or, well, you know, it really didn't happen that way. Well, that way, what do you mean? It didn't happen that way. We got people now saying, because I brought the point up about the Edomites, and I heard there was some guy, matter of fact, I a couple of days ago, I went on the internet and I said, where are the Edomites today in 2021? And you had this wisecracker they got on and started talking about, well, according to our books and our historians and our what do you call them?
Philosophers, anthropologists.
Philosophers and all that stuff. They say, well, you know, as far as he was talking about the Edomites. He says that we're finding out now that was just something that was made up. You know, they said even if that happened, they said that they were killed off, they died off, and everything, and they don't even exist anymore. You know, and so up here thinking, yeah, y'all some dirty dogs. Just go to show you how y'all to be getting back what I was saying. But so my thing, and especially to the elders, I say to these elders, how can you? I mean, I don't come every Saturday because I get kind of busy doing what I'm doing here, trying to do y'all's work. Each I would tell you what I'm doing here with my verses on my wall. I'm not finished with that. I got the assistant storehouse in my place, and I thought I'd say that to you. Although nobody is allowed to come here but certain people. And so, but to hear that out of all the help that we need with these young folks, and we got elders that's dropping out, and that tells me y'all either don't believe in Yah or you don't, and you don't fear Him. For those people, the daughters of Zion and all the rest of you singers and all that used to be here at the sanctuaries, and now you're back in Christianity, I don't know what in the hell happened to you, or what they could possibly say, what a pastor, preacher could possibly say to you to make you turn around and make you turn away from the words of the Holy Creator. If it was the Mores, then you should have stayed behind and talked to them. Things that you didn't like inside the sanctuary, maybe, who knows? I mean, I do know when I was here and everything, people did talk about each other, saying things, saying this and everything. When you're doing that kind of stuff, you don't fear Yah. If you fear Yah, you're going to come there and you're going to listen. You're going to get along with everybody. You're not going to cause trouble. And you're going to ask questions, reasonable questions, and get the answers and stuff and everything. And you're going to be a holy person to the Holy Creator. And if you ain't quite there yet, then you'll be working on it real hard.
That's right.
Because I know sometimes it's kind of hard. Some of you ain't quite there yet. You're working on it. And I will help you if you would reach out to us or the elders that are already there. If you reach out, we can help you. I can show you, I can definitely help you on how to get blessings. Blessings come, oh man, they come to me all the time. And I like to share it. I really like to share them. But young folks don't come around. They don't ask the questions like they should. We got some that have left town, gone back to North Carolina. I thought I had one here that was helping me out with my storefront, and she's gone. Not knowing that, hey, you know, you already got, and she's got a whole lot of blessings coming because of what she's been through. Her and her sister both, and I love them both. But you know what's wrong with adding more blessings, and this truly is one concerning his storefront. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how important that is.
That's right.
I just wish you guys would listen to me more, and I wish those out there in Radio Land, and by the way, I'm missing my brother and sister in Philadelphia. A shout out to them, Anthony and Sheila.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. I pray that all is going well for you. And tell everyone there I said hello. And I don't know if I'm going to do that today, but next week I think I might hold that off until next week because I'm not only giving a shout, but I want to let folks, I like to make my people feel good too, because sometimes we just don't smile and laugh enough. Because we've got nothing to smile and laugh about. Except for, I mean, if you're in the Word of Yah, that's good. I mean, I know that a lot of you get tired. I know I'm tired. I keep asking to please, Father, speed it up, so that we can get the heck out of here, because we are in a land that's sure enough Sodom and Gomorrah, or even worse. You know, and so. But that's the take on that. And I hope that you young folks, your middle-aged ones, and your elders, if you hear this, come on back to the sanctuary where you're supposed to be. Your elders should know better than that. Because you know what? Y'all has got to be very, 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 very disappointed. Very disappointed. And all of you know that there's only going to be a remnant that's going to be saved. And I'm going to keep bringing that up too. Just keep messing around. You were doing a great job, Daughters of Zion, for a long time. I loved your music. You even sang some of your music sounded like it was Jamaican. I love that sound. I love the tropical island sound anyway, like the ones in Fiji and Costa Rica. Oh man, they got some of the most beautiful sounds. And even our people in south of Mexico, there overlooking the Pacific, they even got some nice music. And I'm going to play it sometimes. It's not spiritual, but it's enough to make you move. And when I hear that music, I think about Yah, you know. And then I think about the beautiful women in our lives that we're about to lose if they don't turn themselves around. And our brothers who are out there that I've already asked, and I'm going to ask you again, brothers, if we ever come to Chicago, I hope that you come to see us and listen, because we have something for you. And I'm asking you, please put the guns away, because that's not where it's at. I know, and I know a lot of you too are very happy about the turnout with the Ahmaud Arbery, what happened there with the verdict. And it was a relief, because I know if it went another way, everybody would have acted a fool. I mean, everybody would just been doing all kind of things. And so I'm glad that didn't happen and that they found it. But you know what? You're not out of the woods, and Yah's not going to let it. God not going to let it rest. They still going to keep doing stupid things, and to show you how much they hate us. So you need to know what you got to do. You can't keep looking for people like Al Sharpton that pops up every time something happens, and now he acting like he's the one that, probably the main one that spearheaded it, so they would find him guilty. No, he ain't had nothing to do with it. Nothing. And all he doing is just getting you in more trouble, because like the Holy Scripture says, we are not supposed to be marching. We are not supposed to be voting. leave it up to the Holy Creator. All we're supposed to be doing is being quiet. And if we do anything, if we're going anywhere, it should be down to sacred waters, facing the east, and letting the school and letting the teachers holler out to Yah to come and save us, like we did on the 19th. What was it, September? August of September, August of the 19th. I wish you all could have been there, but hallelujah. But it's not over yet. We got.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I can't let you go without telling me about Fox News.
Oh yeah, them dummies. Fox News is one of the most they're about the most prejudiced news crew on TV, and but they call themselves using reverse psychology on our people and on others, letting us think that it's really the Democrats. They're the ones that's been doing this and causing that problem, but they won't speak on. Y'all speak about everything else, but why don't y'all speak about the killings of all these young black men and women? Like the 16-year-old girl that got shot in the back for having a knife. And the cop didn't even try to go and take the knife from her. He's been trained just like other folks that I know. Like the 13-year-old boy that had his hands up when the cop shot him and the gun wasn't nowhere near. Y'all don't talk about stuff like that. Instead, y'all like to just pick fights. Calling the Democrats problem. I don't care for neither one of you, really. I really don't, because you're both in the same paper bag. When y'all first came to this land, you were on the same accord. There was no Republicans, there was no Democrats then, and all of you, and y'all thought alike then, when you was killing off the Native Indian, and chasing them off the lands, and if you caught them on the lands that didn't really belong to you, you would kill them. Wounded knee. You don't talk about that. We need to talk. If we're going to do this, let's bring it all out here. Fox News, Hannity, old Dixie Cup, and then going back with the Republicans here, with Ted Cruz and Ron Johnson and all the rest of them. Supposed to be Republicans. I thought y'all was supposed to act in a different way. The only person that I see that acts like they have any good sense is Liz Cheney. And she would make it's too bad it's not more of her own that are on there. Because the rest of you ain't nothing but bigots, racists, and that's all it is. And y'all trying to push for a race war or a civil war, and if you keep going, it's going to happen. With your boss, Donald Trump. Y'all know already, what was that? I think it was Ted Cruz. The other day I was listening to him. He was at some rally or something when he was talking about how the Democrats are not, most folks don't even know they're the ones that created the Ku Klux Klan.
That's right.
And he said, just like the president y'all got in that now, spoke at the funeral of Robert Byrd, who was a Democrat, but he was one of them high ups, poopa for the Ku Klux Klan. What were they thinking? I said, okay, you know what? That may be so, but just to show y'all, all of you the same, is because since he said that, I'm gonna put that right on the radio today here. A lot of you don't even know, a lot of folks don't know, you should, that Donald Trump's father, Fred Trump, was a Ku Klux Klanman. Yep. They don't tell you that. But his sister and his cousin, Mary Trump, she'll tell you about it and tell you how rotten that her uncle was, Fred Trump. Yeah. He and other Ku Klux Klan member, they started a fight. I forget what state it was in, everything, and all a major fight. They got into it with the police, and he got arrested. And then somebody, I guess, bailed him out, but he got arrested. And Trump will tell you it didn't happen. But you know, he's such a big liar, just like he'll tell you that the January 6th thing didn't even happen. That those people, I mean, Tom Cruise and them say the same thing. They said it was very peaceful. Oh, man. I mean, who in the hell do you think is that stupid besides y'all self? And I'm going to tell you something. There was one thing that I left out about the woman that I said that was looking at them brothers to let her know how she could be saved. Mm-hmm. And I really hope I don't know if anybody remember that video or whatever and everything, or anybody know her, just let them know, or anybody else like us, let them know to go to Isaiah chapter 56 and read that. Yah has got an opening for everybody that's good, that want to be saved. Mm-hmm. Chapters 56, read it. But the only one, it does say that in Isaiah chapter 14 that they will be, how does it say, how it go, Maury? And they who slaved you, you would be slaves who slaves they were.
Those who your captives shall be
the captives you were.
Yes. Yeah,
so in other words, and I'll tell you who those people are likely to be. People like Donald Trump's kids. People like the ones who raided that Capitol on the 6th of January. People like that. People like Ted Cruz and Ron Johnson's kids, their wives and all the rest of them. They are going to be slaves. And the ones that the tribe of Judah and them don't want, they're going to give them to the Sabians, a nation so far off and very wicked and ruthless. And you better believe it, because it hasn't happened yet. But it will be. So, right. So after saying that, folks, hallelujah. And going back to my people right now, I pray that all of you have been doing well, and I hope that a lot of you look forward, can try to find some kind of way to get here, because we're waiting for you. We got places for you to stay. We got plenty of food, so come on. We're waiting for you. Praise the mighty one of Israel.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Praise the mighty Yah.
Hallelujah.
I would like to try my song again as we're closing.
I got you.
Holy, holy.
Yes, sir.
is a song that the